Welcome back. Leave me alone, I'm busy farming. I just wanted to show you all what I've been doing. I've added 2 more trellis panels here. And I don't know, a year or so ago we did a video on this trellis here. We called it the $50 tomato trellis. I've added on to it a little bit. Part of it's in a birdie's raised garden bed. These are 8-foot T-posts. They're in the ground about 2 feet, maybe just a little bit more. This is a 16-foot section of cattle panel, so $6. Cattle panel, 16 feet, now about $23. I came lower to the ground this time, so I don't have to stake these until they get to where I started that cattle panel on that trellis. And I took what was left, because this is only 10 feet, and I cut the remaining 4-foot section in half, and I attached it up here. So I've probably got a good 6 feet of height. And these are all tomatoes here. I have put in some marigolds, black Suriname cherry right here. This was started from seed from a piece of fruit that Stacy and I have eaten off this one here. This was a gift from my buddy Pete over at Green Dreams TV. I've got another black Suriname cherry there. I've got more mulberries. This mulberry is going to get moved right where that mulberry in the bucket is. This trellis here has the mulberry plants and eggplants. We'll see how the eggplants do. If they don't do well, I could always put some tomatoes in there come the fall. These are, so most of these are Brandywine heirloom tomatoes. These are a sweetie cherry tomato. Those are a Black Beauty eggplant. And throughout this trellis here, I've got the sweetie cherry tomatoes. I have some Roma. I have some Brandywine heirlooms. So I have an assortment. These are a larger cherry tomato. What is it here? This is a cherry tomato from a clone. So these plants here were all clone plants. Those are from seeds. My birdie's raised garden beds, I've pulled out a lot of the beets that were in there, and I've planted sweet potatoes. All right, what do we have here? We've got a chocolate cherry tomato that I cloned. It's long overdue to be planted, but let's get it down there just a little bit deeper. All right. And we're just going to continue to add tomato plants here. I've got so many. Now, I know they're a little bit close. I'm okay taking that chance. In the event that they're too congested, I could always fill out, but these are basically free at this point. So I don't know what else to do with them. I've got a little tree mulch there. This area the other day, I did put down some biochar. So wet that in just a little bit. I'm going to take one of these clips for they basically go on a piece of twine. They're a tomato clip. And I'm going to right now just come around this clip here, which I'm just realizing I never actually bent the metal around. So anyway, what I'll do is I'll get it to come up over to here, and I'll come up right here. Look at the height of these tomato plants already. This is remarkable. I want to be careful here. So these were from clones. These are a cherry tomato. You can see I've got racks of tomatoes. So these have a little bit of a head start. Here's a Brandywine that needs to get in the ground. These are more Brandywines here. So I'm going along and I'm doing a little trimming here. And we're starting to make sure that we get some tomato clips on our plants. And I even snuck one around here on the corner. I've got some dollar weeds I need to pull out. These are marigolds that I started from seeds. But really, again, I just want to point out what a very cost-effective way this is to make a trellis. It could be used for a variety of plants, vegetable plants. I mostly am using it for tomato plants, but I do have some eggplants, as I said earlier. Again, we're talking about a $6 8-foot T-post, $23 16-foot cattle panel, and basically this is going to last a lifetime. I had, when I first put it up, temporarily used some plastic ties. I've since switched over to the metal ties that come when you buy a pack of 5 of these posts. They give you a bag of those metal ties. There is a special tool to bend it. I just use a pair of pliers, nothing fancy. I wanted to give you guys a quick tour of how things are growing in the food forest. These are I believe it's a red plum. Okay, I have lots of fruit. And back in here, if I could move this Mexican sunflower, right here, I've got, I don't know if you can see that, a plum that's just about ready to harvest. And I've got plums up through here, so things are doing really well. This is a rosemary plant. Right here, I've got some eggplants in a grow bag. And I'm just going to grab the camera. We'll head over here real quick. So forgive me for stepping out of the frame, but I wanted to show you my white peach tree. Okay. These are small peaches. This one's almost ready to be harvested, but they are probably the best peach I've ever eaten. So you could see each branch is just loaded up. Some of them, like over here, let me see if I can grab this, it's got so much fruit on it, it's just hanging over here and touching the ground. All right, my longevity spinach, let me just pull back just a little bit here. Bear with me, I'm sorry. I just wanted to show you how this stuff comes back. So, let me pull this out of the ground. We don't need that there. This longevity spinach during the winter, basically, it got knocked all the way back. That's such a good flavor. My grandkids love this. So, again, I started with I think it was a 1-gallon plant, and I was able to clone it. That's what this one is. I mean, they'll take over this whole area here. So this year my goal is I'm going to try and contain a little bit more. I got rid of my cranberry hibiscus because it had split and fallen over. And this is from a runner. That tastes just like cranberry. So these are nice when you get the nice bright leaves. You put them in a salad. So I have a couple of different runners that are popping up. Here's one right here. I'll probably pull out of the ground, stick it in a pot, and gift it to someone. Last stop in the food forest. Here's my fertilizer, right? Mexican sunflower chop and drop, and right back there is a fakahatchee grass. So I need to cut this back and put it around the base of my avocados. All right, I think Primo and I are gonna head into the pool and go for a swim. Again, as I said earlier, there's a lot of different ways to make trellises. I've done them all. I've used a conduit pipe with string hanging down. I put a rebar in the ground, put the 1/2-inch conduit pipe over it. Way back against my fence over there by my compost, I actually have a section of it. I might figure out a place to use it. Again, I've used several types of methods to create trellises. I'm going to say my preference right now is using these T-posts. I go with the 8-footer so I can put it in at least 2 feet, 2.5 feet. It's plenty sturdy, and I use this cattle panel. It's 16 feet long. It's going to last a lifetime. It looks like it has a galvanized coating on it. They give you the metal clips when you buy a pack of 5 of the T-posts. So, you know, now it's probably a $65 tomato trellis if you went 16 feet. Again, I think it's a great investment. It should last you a lifetime. I now have it stacked 1, 2, 3 deep here. My exposure, that's east, west. So the sun's coming up. There's my south that way. So it's not the perfect location, but everything seems to be thriving over here. I've got fennel bulbs that are like that big across the bottom right now in there. I need to harvest them. And the Swiss chard, the kale's all done really well. My rosemary plants, I have lemons over here. My mulberries, which we got a ton of mulberries, so now they're kind of not producing fruit. We'll probably get another 2 production cycles out of this, so about 3 times a year. We couldn't eat the mulberries. There was just too many. We were gifting quarts to friends and neighbors. So everything's growing really well here. Again, not ideal. I'd rather have a more southern exposure without the house blocking the sun as it's over towards the west. But you make do with what you have. You know, you might not have any property. You might be just growing out of a small pot, little container. As long as you're growing something, you're taking a step in the right direction. A lot of mentors out there. Check out Kevin over at Epic Gardening. He's got a ton of advice. He sells those Birdie's beds. He also sells the seed starting trays here, which, again, I'm a huge fan. And check out Pete at Green Dreams TV, Sand Hill Farm in Spring Hill, Florida. Again, follow these guys. They give you a ton of free advice, and it's going to help you be a better gardener, food forester, or foodscaping. Anyway, I hope this finds everybody well. Leave me alone, I'm busy farming.